Hi everyone, today for reading you're going to need your Ready reading book, and we are going to be looking at the story called The Terror of Green Street. It's page 82. So if you need to pause the video and get those supplies, go ahead and do that. Again, it's page 82. Okay, once you have that all ready and you are on page 82, I would like for you to go ahead and pause the video and read the passage, The Terror of Green Street, on your own. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video, read this passage. Actually, before you do that, let's look at page 83, because I always like to look at the questions before I read the passage. So number 1 says, this question has 2 parts. Answer part A and then answer part B. Part A says, why does Frankie cross Green Street on his way home? Okay, so we're going to be looking for that answer when we're reading the passage. And part B says, which 2 details from the story best support the answer to part A? So we're going to be looking at that when we're reading the passage. Okay, and there's also a short response that we're going to be doing. And it says, what are 2 good things that come from what happens to Frankie? So we're also going to be thinking about that while we're reading the story. So pause the video, take a couple minutes to really read through that story. Once you are all ready, then we're going to go ahead and move on. So number 1 says, why does Frankie cross Green Street on his way home? Is it because he doesn't want his friends to see him? Is it because he wants to avoid his friend Mike's house? Is it because he is afraid of the dog on the other side? Or is it because he likes to be left alone? So if I look back into the passage, let's see, I'm going to look for why does Frankie cross Green Street? Okay, so it says here, as he reached Green Street, Frankie would cross the street. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to underline that. And then it says here, on the other side, a white dog tied in a yard would bark fiercely. So I'm going to underline that. And it says its barking echoed around the neighborhood. So if I look at my answers over here, it says, does he not want to be with he doesn't want his friends to see him? Probably not. Does he wants to avoid his friend Mike's house? No. Is it he is afraid of the dog on the other side? Yeah, I think so. So I'm going to circle letter C, because he is afraid of the dog on the other side. It tells us right there. Okay? All right. It also says, if I look on the bottom over here, let's see. That dog, he says here, he's saying that he's afraid of the dog there. And then in paragraph 6, it says, Mike started to laugh until Frankie glared at him. Are you scared of that mutt? Okay. Snowball's noisy, but she's harmless. You just have to get to know her. Okay, so that again tells us that he's afraid of the dog. So if we look at part B, it says, which 2 details from the story best support the answer to part A? And we're looking for 2. Okay, letter A says, he would climb into a pine tree and wait for his friends to leave. No, that's not really telling us that he's afraid of the dog on the other side. Is it letter B, on the other side, a white dog tied in a yard would bark fiercely? Yep, I would say so. So let's circle letter B. Okay, so we're picking 2, so we have to look for 1 more. Frankie's friend Mike lived next door to the dog. That doesn't really tell us that he's afraid of the dog on the other side. Are you scared of that mutt? Well, that could be it. Let's look at the next 3 and see. Snowball's noisy, but she's harmless. Well, that could be it too. This one says, Snowball, you loudmouth furball. Doesn't really tell us that he's afraid of the dog on the other side. Or letter G, Snowball sniffed around Frankie's legs and then wandered away. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and say letter D. Are you scared of that mutt? Because it's literally saying, are you scared of that dog? So then that tells us that he is afraid of the dog on the other side. Okay. All right, turn to page 85. This is your short response. So the Terror of Green Street says, what are two good things that come from what happens to Frankie? And I want you to underline that because you need to make sure that you include two good things that come from what happened to Frankie. And your hint right here says, what does Frankie ask Mike to do the next day? Okay, so you're looking for two good things that came from what happened to Frankie. Okay, and I also want you to try to put the question in your answer. So you could say, two good things that came from what happened to Frankie are, okay, so make sure you're putting that question into your answer and make sure that you're writing two things. On the bottom of page 85, there's a check your writing. So you can go through your writing and check and make sure you did these things. So did you read the prompt carefully? Meaning, did you put two good things that came from what happened to Frankie? Did you put the prompt in your own words? Okay, did you put the question in your own words? Did you use the best evidence from the text to support your ideas? Are your ideas clearly organized? Did you write in clear and complete sentences? And did you check your spelling and punctuation? Okay, so that is what you have to do today for reading. So again, you're doing page 83, which we did together, and then page 85 is where you are writing your short response. If you do not have your reading notebook with you, then I will upload a picture of the story and the questions, and then you can write your short response in your writing notebook, okay? So if you don't have your notebook, then let me know and I can upload that for you. If you need anything, please let me know. Have a great day.